Dev Podcast, tech products that work.
I say SEO loosely, first of all, because we're dealing with quite a bit more than just search engine optimization. Now, recently this has changed in the market where you do also have AEO and GEO, which to the people out there that don't know yet is Ask Engine Optimization and Generative Engine Optimization. And that basically points to you might have noticed by now that when you do your Google searches, there's a bit of a AI section at right at the top now, where the Google's AI, Gemini, I suppose, starts answering some questions or queries, or point you in the direction of services that it is that you're looking for. Coming back to the example of an accounting firm, let's say in Pinetown, that Ask engine is actually going to pop up and try and point you in the right direction. Similarly, GEO points to having a conversation with something like ChatGPT, for example, or maybe you're on Claude or Gemini, it doesn't matter. That's your GEO side of things. The whole idea behind this point is, so as per the first point, before you even start with a website, think about what the purpose and the intent and the conversion is going to be. For the second point here, some sort of search or discoverability strategy that is built into this plan before even starting to build the website is extremely important. Otherwise, I think analogies that we used to use back in the day is like printing 5,000 flyers and sticking it in your drawer and never handing it out, That might be a silly example, but I want to stress this point especially because I know that there are a lot of businesses out there that think that it is just too costly or too far out of reach, especially if you're in a niche that is extremely competitive on search engines. So think short-term insurance, for example, to rank quite high for a keyword such as short-term insurance is going to be very difficult and costly, okay? Because those spots are like, people are paying big money to get to those spots, But I don't think that should deter you from having a strategy like that, and especially now with the fact that you've got ChatGPT and the Ask Engine side of things in Google. Because what's actually happening is someone might actually search, let's say, for example, a short-term insurance broker, and in your organic results, because they've spent a lot of money on SEO, all the top guys are coming up over there. But then that person doing the search might feel like, yeah, but look, I don't want to just be a number in some huge organization. I want something a little bit more boutique and something local. So they're going to change the way that they search and say, I'm looking for a local boutique style, maybe family-run short-term insurance brokerage in my neighborhood. Well, then if you've got a bit of a strategy going on, then you're going to come up. If this person is also in Pinetown and they're looking for that specific thing and that's what you are. But if you don't have any strategy in that sense, then you're nowhere to be found, So it is very, very important. You cannot just launch your website and think that the business is going to come or that it's good enough because your vehicle has got the website address on there and perhaps your business card, if you still use those. Maybe let's rather point to email signatures. It's got my website address over there and that's all I need. I don't think so. You've got to rethink that, definitely.
I think a lot of business owners these days probably don't really understand that they can optimize for an Ask engine and a generative engine, because it's such new technology, and I think a lot of people out there still don't understand the inner workings of it, and the fact that you as a software developer can infiltrate that mechanism in a strategic manner to ensure that your clients' services and products and business show up in the results in a favorable manner when the search is at least somewhat directed in their direction,
No, exactly. Yeah. So this is definitely something that people need to wise up to, I feel like a lot of people are still battling to get over the hurdle of SEO itself, but we've sort of moved on already. SEO is important, but you need to include AEO and GEO into that strategy too. and 100%, because search, Google, it's changing dramatically as we speak.
I think another side effect of all of these changes and the new technologies is the language that people are using to search is changing. So I remember I considered myself quite a Google maverick back in the day, because like I could refine that Google search in such a way that I would narrow down on the information I was looking for more and more and more. But it's like there was nothing organic about the search box. It was just like a bunch of words, and the order of the words sometimes could affect the results. But now it's becoming even more organic, where people are just like asking full length questions and putting in like whole thoughts into the text box, and that changes the whole industry as well, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. Remember back in the day when you used to still use the little plus characters and the inverted commas, because you'd be very specific about, it must include this and then that keyword and specifically that, and it was like a little bit of a
the inverted commas.
Yeah. Yeah. So whereas now, think about the fact that you could be on ChatGPT audibly speaking, to ChatGPT and blabbering on an entire paragraph or two about the specific thing that it is you want. And if the website was developed correctly with the right strategies, then there's a big chance that you're going to show up,